Recyclers, it's Helen from Recycled Interiors here, and I'm just going to do a quick video today to explain to you a little bit about Annie Sloan chalk paint products. So we've had quite a lot of people asking us on the blog and on social media, what is chalk paint, how does it work, where can you buy it, do you need to pre-mix it, do you need to prepare the surfaces. We've run a couple of posts on the blog around basics in using chalk paint by Annie Sloan, and you can pop over to our blog, and there's actually a tab there that you can look under, and it brings all of the chalk paint by Annie Sloan posts together. And I actually have a relationship with Annie Sloan, so they sponsored me to work with them. But I just absolutely love the product, and I was using it for a long time before I was given that opportunity. So just to let you know that before we get started. And I'm going to run some more posts and also some more videos showing you some actual projects. So we're going to show you how you can paint over material, fabrics, materials, vinyls, timber, and a whole pile of other things. So we'll get started. I'll just run you through the basics, and hopefully that will give you a little bit of insight to get you on your way. Okay. Okay, so just to start with, I'm just going to show you a few of the products and explain how it all works. So there's a very wide range of colours, and they come in these, that's almost a litre tin, or 32 ounces if you're not in Australia, and basically they come all pre-made, so there's no mixing required. And the thing with the chalk paint by Annie Sloan is that you can basically paint, and excuse my lovely paint drips on the tin, this shows how well used they are, but you don't need to do any surface preparation other than a extremely good clean of the piece. So if you don't clean a piece that you're going to paint, it does make it harder for the paint to stick. So it's really important that you just use, you can use just some warm water and a soft cloth, or you can use something like a sugar soap or a gentle detergent to clean the piece. You want to make sure there's no grime, dust, oil on there, and you do also want to make sure there's no flaking paint. So if there's flaking paint, old paint, you'll need to clean it down and then give it a bit of a sand. A hand sand is fine with some sandpaper, or if you really have a very tricky piece, then you may want to do some sanding. But mostly with this paint, you can actually go straight over the top. Now, that said, I do find if you've got a very shiny piece, so perhaps you've got a veneer top that you want to paint, then scratching it up with a little bit of sandpaper, just giving it a good rub can actually help to get what we call some tooth, so the paint can stick. Most of your general pieces that you will be painting, you don't need to do that. So this is one of the most popular colours of old white, which gives a beautiful colour. This is Napoleonic blue, which is one of my favourites, and duck egg is also one of the most popular. It's like a minty greeny blue. It's a beautiful colour. You can also get sample size pots. So this is Florence, which is a beautiful teal colour. This is French linen, which is a really pretty soft grey. And this one here is Old Violet, which is a lovely grey purple colour. So you can select some sample size pots if you want to have a go, rather than buying the full tin to begin with. Now with these paints, with most paints, I always give it a shake first. So it's up to you to give it a bit of a shake. Basically you can use just a knife or anything that will prise open your tin. Open it up. Now this one's very crusty, it's been used a lot. But basically inside you can see the paint. Now the paint is quite thick, so it's a nice consistency, and you can give it a bit of a stir up, particularly if it's been sitting for a while, and then you're ready to roll. Now there's a couple of ways that you can use this paint product. One is that you can use what we call a hog's bristle round brush, and this is perfect for painting with chalk paint. because the bristle is extremely good quality. It'll give you a nice finish. And when we paint with chalk paint, smooth that out of the way, we actually want to kind of go all over the place like this. So we don't really want to do nice smooth strokes. We want to kind of go all over the place with your brush, and that will give you that really lovely finish that you're looking for with a chalk paint finish. Now, most of the time you only require one coat, but I find quite a lot of pieces I do 2 coats. You generally don't need more than that. You can also use one of the Annie Sloan or any type of flat brush, and these flat brushes will actually give you a smoother finish. So if you're actually after quite a smooth finish, then thinning the paint down slightly with a little bit of water and using a more traditional brush approach will actually give you a much smoother finish than you'll get using this kind of brush and the paint without any water in it, just falls straight on. You can really thin the paint down, and you can do what we call a wash effect. So we'll do that in one of our next videos to show you how that can work. But it gives a beautiful sheen across the piece, and you can actually see some of the timber or other colours underneath. The other thing you can do is you can put one coat of one colour on, and then you might decide that you actually want to, I don't really want to tip that out because it's going to go all over the place, but you might actually decide that you want to use this beautiful Napoleonic blue, and then you might want to rub that back a bit, and then you might want to put some white over the top, and then rub it back again so that some of that blue is showing under. So you can start to create blends of colours, which is an absolutely beautiful way of working with this paint. You can also do all sorts of things like taping off different sections to create patterns. You can decoupage on the top of it, so you can stencil. So there's many different things you can do to create the look that you would love. Once the paint's dry, very fast drying, normally I find within about 20-30 minutes the first coat is dry, then you can apply a wax, and the wax is a very important part of the process. So there are 2 waxes in the range. There's a dark wax and there's a clear wax. Now generally you would be using, in most cases, the clear. And what the wax does is it protects that piece. So it actually gives it a protective coat and seals in the paint. But it also gives you a really lovely finish, and it gives it, if you want, it gives you some shine. So you can see in there, it's a soft wax, and basically you apply that also with either a bristle brush or a soft cloth. Once you put it on, and you need to put it on quite thick, so it's better to have more wax than you think you need. Once it's sunk into the timber or the piece you're painting, then you buff it with a cloth and take off the excess. You can also distress the piece if you like that sort of look, what we call distressing. And you need to use a fairly fine grit, so a sort of a 200-220 grit sandpaper. And you can, it's really up to you. You can do that before you wax. You can put a layer of wax on, then you can do some distressing and then wax over the top. Some people like to use oils and other things to do what we call wet distressing, which we'll do in another piece. But in a general piece, you would just give you a little bit of distressing, which I like to do. I haven't got something here to show you, but around the edges of the piece, for example, where it would naturally get knocked about by time, that's a really best way to do your distressing, rather than just going in the middle of the piece and scratching it around, which can look a little bit messy. And you can also follow up with another coat of wax if you like, or another coat of wax the next day. It takes about 30 days for the paint to fully cure, which means that you just need to be a little gentle in that time with it. If you're going to be having heavy traffic, say it's a kitchen table, for example, which you would finish probably with a lacquer anyway, or a varnish rather than a wax. So things that are getting high traffic need to be finished slightly differently than perhaps a cupboard or a chair. Then you can do that, and you can re-wax down the track as well. With the dark wax, this is a beautiful product, and people get a little bit freaked out about it, but the thing is with the dark wax is there's no need to be stressed about it, because one, if you can get the can open, once you've actually put it on, you wipe off the bits you don't want with the clear wax. So it's better to be a little bit conservative with it, and you can put this on to give that aged effect. It can almost give like almost a goldy kind of effect. I used dark wax on our old inbuilt colonial pine cupboards, and then I used clear over the top, and it actually brought out this most beautiful gold sort of colour. Can you see that there? So this start wax is applied in the areas that you would like, the same way as you do with the clear. Once you've put it on and done a little bit of sandpapering if you want to, then you apply the clear wax over the top, and you can, as I said, rub back the areas so you just get that nice minimal amount of the wax. And that's basically it. It's really easy to use, it gives a beautiful finish, it's lovely to paint with, very fast drying and very, very versatile. So hop onto our blog, www.recycledinteriors.org. You can also find all of our social media links on there. You can look under the Chalk Paint by Annie Sloan tab to find all the projects that we've done and what we're doing. And if you subscribe to our channel, if you like what we're doing, and also give us a like, please, a thumbs up, then you're going to get the series that we're going to be running on chalk paint, as well as all the other DIYs, homewares reviews, interviews, house tours, and everything else we're going to be bringing on Recycled Interiors TV. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to drop questions down in the comments box. We'll answer any questions you've got. No questions done. I've been asked all sorts of things about chalk paint. You can't buy it in any normal hardware or paint shop. You actually do need to go onto the Annie Sloan website to find your stockist, but the Annie Sloan Unfolded website will give you all of the stockists in Australia and outside of the UK. And you can also find your stockists there if you're in other countries. So we look forward to seeing you again, and bye for now.